Hey, David, good news, bad news in this report. Look, there was no surprise in here, nothing that made people say, whoa, what's happening? It was more a case of, yeah, not surprised to hear about this. As you take a look at shares of RIVIAN, yes, the stock dropped after the call started or after the report came out yesterday, in part because they are facing production and supply chain challenges. Let's talk first about that and then some of the optimistic news that came out yesterday. With regard to the production and supply chain, they said on the call that they are going to be a couple of hundred vehicles shy of reaching the target for fourth quarter production of 1,200 vehicles. Going to push that out into 2022. Why? Because they're having problems ramping up production, ramping up the supply chain. They're also going to be carrying greater inventory, at least near term. That is not widely unexpected. It is a negative, but it's not one that analysts are saying, oh, we never saw this coming. On the positive side, when you take a look at orders and demand for the pickup truck, which is the R1T, or the upcoming electric SUV, the R1S, those orders climbed up to 71,000. It was 48,000 back on September 30th. Here is CEO RJ Scaringe talking about demand for these trucks and this SUV.
As awareness continues to go up, that will lead to continued increase in pre-order demand. And to some of the earlier questions, it certainly has us focused on how do we make sure we continue to ramp production. And as we talked about, look for opportunities to pull ahead on our volume ramp.
Take a look at shares of RIVIAN going all the way back to the IPO. Remember, the price, I believe it was $72 a share, so now under $100. One other note from yesterday, the company announced, Morgan, that it will be building a second final assembly plant. This one will be east of Atlanta. They're going to start building it. It'll be up and running in 2024. Capacity, 400,000 vehicles. So you take that plant along with the plant that they already have in central Illinois. They're going to have 600,000 in capacity by 2024, or at least that's the target at this point, which is substantial, and don't be surprised if it grows beyond that.
Yeah, and it's substantial. It's going to take some substantial money as well, because that's going to be a multi-billion-dollar investment. So given that, and I realize this is a company that raised a lot of money both on the private market and through the IPO process, is it going to have enough cash on hand over the next 4 years to pull all of this off?
Well, they've got enough cash on hand right now. That's a $5 billion investment for the plant east of Atlanta. I don't think anybody's worried about their cash position and their ability. If they need to go to the capital markets and raise more money, they can certainly do that. Look, when you listen to the analyst call yesterday, when you read the analyst notes, while the stock is down 10%, this was largely fairly positive in terms of the analyst commentary. They said, look, everybody's having supply chain problems here, and you're ramping up from zero. So you should expect some of this. So I know the stock looks like it's cratering, but the commentary and the tone of the analyst notes, not nearly as negative.
Phil, appreciate that. What a story from last night. We'll talk a lot more about it today. That's our Phil Lebeau talking some RIVIAN from last night. In the meantime, take a look.